Welcome back once again, all of my low carb friends, and for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. Today we have another video by request. Bible and Afternoon Tea requested a while ago that we make a lemon pound cake. And so today we are making a keto lemon pound cake with keto lemon glaze on top. And if you want a printable version of this recipe, you can check out my website at janet'sdeliciouslowcarbkitchen.com. You can find a printable version of this recipe and other goodies there for you. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see lots of easy, delicious, low-carb keto recipes, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button. That way you can be notified every time I put out videos every Wednesday and Saturday. And if you'd like to help support the channel, make sure you scroll down in the description of the video. You'll see some affiliate links. Anytime you purchase anything using those affiliate links, a small portion of your purchase will go to me and help support the channel. So while you do all that, let's get cooking. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Line an 8x4-inch loaf pan with parchment paper and allow the paper to overhang just a little bit so that you can use it as handles to lift out your loaf once it's done baking. In a medium mixing bowl, combine 120 grams or around 1 cup of coconut flour, 15 grams or around 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 gram or around 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 120 grams or around 2/3 cup of the granulated sweetener of your choice. I'm using granulated monk fruit sweetener. You can use whatever granulated sweetener you want. You can also adjust it more or less depending on how sweet you want your cake. Sift all the dry ingredients together until it's fully combined and there are no lumps in the dry ingredients. Add 4 large room temperature eggs. Make sure they are room temperature so they stir in more smooth. Stir the eggs into the dry ingredients until fully combined and all the dry ingredients have been moistened by the eggs. Add a 1/2 cup of butter that's been melted and cooled. Make sure it is cooled. You do not want hot butter in this. Stir the butter in until everything is fully combined and smooth. Add 120 grams or around a 1/2 cup of plain yogurt or sour cream. Make sure again that this is room temperature. Room temperature ingredients makes everything blend together more smooth, which makes for a lighter, more moist cake. Also, if you want to add extra flavor to your pound cake to kind of help mask any coconut flour taste, instead of using plain yogurt, you can use a flavored yogurt, but just make sure you check the ingredients, make sure there's no added sugar or any other garbage in it that is not keto friendly. Add 15 milliliters or around 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. If you keep this in your refrigerator, make sure it is room temperature. And 8 grams or around 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. The vanilla extract is optional. I like a little hint of vanilla in with my lemon, but if you don't want any vanilla flavor, you can leave this out or you can adjust it more or less depending on how much of a vanilla hint you want in your cake. Stir everything all together until everything is combined and you have a smooth, moist dough. Scrape down the sides of the bowl and push the dough to the center of the bowl. Form the dough into a ball and massage it for just a few seconds just to make sure of the texture of your dough. You want to make sure that all the ingredients are sticking together well. If it seems like it's a little bit dry and the dough is crumbly, then just add small amounts more of the yogurt until all of your ingredients hold well together. Place the dough ball into your prepared loaf pan, then use the back of a measuring cup or your fingers and press the dough evenly throughout the loaf pan. Make sure you get this even as possible so you have a nice even cook. Once the dough is spread evenly in your pan, place it in your preheated oven. Bake at 350 degrees for 35 to 40 minutes or until lightly golden around the edges and a tester comes out clean. For me, 35 minutes was perfect. Everyone's oven is different, so again, you're just looking for it to be lightly golden around the edges and a tester to come out clean. Once the pound cake is done baking, remove it from the oven. It still will be soft, but it will firm up as it cools. Allow it to cool in the pan for at least 30 minutes or until it's firm enough to lift out of the pan without falling apart on you. After the cake has firmed up, grasp the overhanging parchment paper and gently and carefully lift it out of the pan and place it on a wire rack to cool completely. Make sure you are careful when you lift this out. The cake will still be warm, and gluten-free baked goods are always a little bit fragile when they are warm, so carefully put it on the wire rack. Also, make sure you cool it completely before you put any glaze on top. If you choose to put the glaze on top, the glaze is optional. For the glaze, in a small bowl, place 65 grams or around a half cup of the powdered sweetener of your choice. I'm using powdered monk fruit allulose blend. Again, you can use whatever powdered sweetener you want. Add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. And once again, if you keep this in the refrigerator, make sure it's at room temperature so it blends better. And if you want a little bit of a vanilla flavor like I like, then add about 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Whisk all the ingredients all together until it's fully combined and smooth. Once it's smooth, you can adjust the glaze to your desired thin or thickness. I ended up adding about 2.5 tablespoons more of the powdered sweetener because I want my glaze thick but able to still pour it out. So it's up to you as to if you want a thin glaze or if you want a thick glaze over your cake. Once you have the glaze the consistency that you want, use a spoon and slowly pour the glaze over the top of your cake. Allow it to drip down the sides a little bit and use a spoon to spread it around as needed to make it even across the top of your cake. Now again, this glaze is optional. If you don't want to have this glaze over the top of your cake, you don't have to. That's up to you. Once you've spooned the glaze over the top, you can eat it immediately, but your glaze is going to be really runny. So I usually let it sit for about 30 minutes. That way you have a thicker, firm glaze over the top. So if you want that thick, firm glaze, allow it to sit at room temperature for at least 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, you can slice your desired size piece. I usually make mine about the thickness of a slice of bread, but that's up to you, again, as to how big of a piece you want. Store it in an airtight container at room temperature for up to 3 days, or you can store it in the refrigerator in an airtight container up to 1 week. I will say if you do store it in the refrigerator, the glaze will probably soak in a little bit to your cake, so you most likely won't have as thick of a glaze on top. It'll still taste great, but it does affect the glaze a little bit if it's refrigerated. Eat and enjoy. And that's our recipe of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up like button, click that subscribe button, leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to learn how to make, and I'll do what I can to get those out there for you. And as always, keep cooking.